gang. 1 minute countdown. We're getting Jules ready. Jules has executed in an absolutely seamless way, and we're excited to hear from her. We've got a lot of providers that do really impressively well, but none that have executed as quickly as Jules, which you're going to see here in a second. So stay tuned. We're just making sure Jules gets on here without any challenges. As last week we had like a 8-minute, 9-minute technical delay. These Instagram lives can be a little complex trying to join. So as soon as Jules gets on, we'll start cranking. Uh-oh. It says Jules is unable to join. We might have to find another platform to host these on. Stay tuned. I'm going to ping Jules, just make sure she's okay. There we go.
Hi.
My girl.
How are you?
I'm doing
My
fantastic.
guy.
Yeah. So listen, this is really exciting for me. You know, we have a lot of providers that do really well, but Jules was unique in that in a 24-hour period from being introduced to Perk, meeting me for the first time, she was able to execute, set up, and deliver 24,000 in contract value in under 24 hours. So Jules, walk me through this. What was the process like for you? How did you simplify it to get up and running so quickly?
So, great to be on. Thanks for having me, of course. First, we met the 5th, right? Because I look back at the calendar to just do the timeline.
Yeah.
We met the 5th at like 6:30, and I was even late for the meeting because I was running running over. So I met with Jared on the 5th. That's the Wednesday. The next day, less than 24 hours, I met with Matt, and he, set it up. The provider, that perk.com, he walked me through it, got the business set up, showed me how to do services. He put the first one in there, the Botox, which is the easy, so he asked me how much I charge and got that set up. The next, so I was like, okay, I told my assistant, I said, put the clients that I have coming for the next 2 days in perk, so I can have them. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try it out. I got to make sure. So I put some services in. Botox fillers, microneedling, threads. I put some popular services in that I have, and to build a treatment plan. Because usually I do it on paper and I have it lined out and check off and so on and so forth. So this was so easy when he walked me through it. I was like, okay, this is great. They could be on their phone. I'm picking out the services after I do their assessment and their consultation, and it was a go from there. So the next day, less than 24 hours, like 3 p.m., I sold the first package. It was a no-brainer. They went in, and usually like a 5 grand plus package, you're scratching your head. It can be a lot to throw that out in one shot, for something. So when she saw, okay, I can put this down and I can pay this, or I could pay even less, 100 and something, or two something per month for a certain amount of time. It was right away I got it. And I think I texted you the same. I was like, oh my God, I got my first package. And all I did, make sure the Stripe account is set up and it was ready to go. And the next day again, rinse and repeat. I did the same thing. And I'm throwing away the paper treatment plans now because everything is in perk. I've built it up. Each day we're adding more and more clients. So don't be overwhelmed if you have like 1,000, 500, whatever clients. Just put in as you go. Like each add them in, and it makes it a lot easier.
Love that.
Just get
So
started.
Jules, so Jules, you're you've got your staff doing this. We meet this fast. How did you even decide? How did you come to the decision that this was the thing to use and put into practice?
So
How
I
did you
have
come to
other,
that conclusion?
yeah, I have other finance companies, but they run a credit check. So
Oh,
plus with Perk, there's no credit check with Perk. Everything is in the client's hand. They're doing everything on their phone. You're not even touching their card. They're able to just put their information in and you're building the plan as you go. So it was a no-brainer for me because that was always an obstacle, sticker shock. When they see, you go through the consultation and you're like, okay, it's this much. And they're like, oh, well, I don't, price can always be a barrier. So I was like, I need something to pivot. I need a game changer from the clinic because I feel like, they want to do the service. They want to change their life. They want the services that can really bring them, the transformation that they're looking for and get them to their aesthetic goals or their skincare goals. But money, is usually a factor. I mean, today's date, even if you have it, you still don't want to shell out all this money at once. So this was a no-brainer for me to say yes all the way. So my girl Celeste put me on to you guys, and I was like forever thankful. She's killing it on Perk for sure.
yes.
So
So you mentioned giving this client 200 units of Botox, which you mentioned would have never been possible. Can you walk us through how this is changing your approach with the client and how maybe your clients are seeing this as more of an investment?
right,
Like,
so,
what's
yeah,
the
because
perception?
so the perception of it is they can't believe it either because it's you're putting something. I'm able to. Sometimes I used to draw black and be like, oh God, maybe they can't. This is too much or whatever. So now I'm just going. I'm saying this is what you need. From what you came in with, this is what you need and where your goals are. This is how we're going to get you there over the next 6 months, a year, or whatever it is. So that's what I did. I just made sure that I was able to give them the treatment plan, lay it all out, and it's been all uphill from there. It's just been amazing. It's really changed the way I practice because now it's like I'm building the treatment plan in front of them. I was like, this is so cool. Like I'm able to because I pick up Botox. This is how many units you need. It gels, this whatever where I'm putting it. I put the amount in, and as we build, they're seeing it in real time on their phone. So I'm like, this is I love it.
So as you watch them experience this, what is that like? Like, do you see any different reaction than when you do just a normal consultation? Is there any different experience in that?
Their experience is absolutely different because they are able to just really focus on what they need instead of the money being the pivotal thing, because as they're going through it, they're like, and so I'm like, okay, if they're not forced or want to do a la carte, then they're now able to say, yes, I want this, I need this, my face is this, and drop in here, I need I need the fine lines, I need the skin resurfacing. So now I find that they're not picking one over the other, like, sacrificing one treatment for another.
And did you find yourself filtering what things you recommend before and
Yes.
now what
Yeah.
what what did you use to filter before and what are you changing it?
I used to filter RF, and it's such a wonderful treatment to do because that's the treatment of my choice, because it has long-term benefits. So I used to filter that a lot because I'm like, you really need 3 to 4 series, and it's a lot. It's a chunk of money that you're putting down, and you don't see the benefits. It's not like a filler that you're seeing right away. So then they're like, it's kind of hard to get them to buy in. So now I'm like, you need it. You have the pores, you have the wrinkling, the fine lines. Your skin needs to be resurfaced. So you want to build healthy skin, and this is so needed. So that I used to filter that a lot, and I felt bad. I was like, like, why do I need to? So now I don't. I don't filter it at all.
So you had lenders before, is that correct? You were
Yes,
so
quite a few.
what's the difference? Like what was your experience then and how is this changing anything?
So the difference is a credit check. That's number one. It's not a loan. It's their responsibility. It's a trust thing that we're doing, and we're building retention. It's long term. They're with me. They're paying for this over time, and they're coming back for the treatment. And it's not like they have 6 months to pay off, 10 grand or something. That's still a lot.
Yeah.
And if you have like even $1 left over, you're paying that full interest on it. So that's been a big change.
So I love one thing that you mentioned. Them using their phone. I think you mentioned that you had clients pay before they even showed up. Is that accurate?
No, like they were in the seat because I was when I just
Oh,
rolled it
got it.
out. They're in the seats, while they're paying before I start the treatment. So they're submitting all that information and set up their plan, signing the contract before I even touch them. That's after I did the evaluation. So that I
Got it.
like that. I didn't have to take a card, and we're not taking a card and swiping a card or doing any of that or exchanging any cash. There's nothing like that. So they have full control. So I think that's really a big game changer.
Love that. And so, how easy would you say the setup was? Is there a reason to? Because we find a lot of providers get very overwhelmed at the idea of having to get started. Um, how easy is the setup and the delivery and experience of the whole
Yeah,
thing?
I didn't realize it was that easy because when I met with Matt the day before, and I was like, he's like, you can start doing. He said you could do this right now, and he did a test with me. He made a patient for me, and he made one for himself, and we did it. And I was like, what? So I was like, this. I said, I want it now. I was like, telling him, I said, listen, put these clients in that's coming in tomorrow. We're doing this tomorrow.
Oh, I love it. And
So it
so,
was really, really simple. I was just like floored when he built out my package and I built out his, and I was like, this is really easy. He's like, you could implement this tonight. And then he's always accessible. When he said I'm available 24 hours, I was like, no, you're not. And he really was. So I
love it.
appreciate that.
So let's just assume that you were a little bit nervous and decided to wait. What do you think the outcome would have been with the clients that you'd served? How might it have been a little different if you're judging honestly?
Honestly, I wouldn't have been able to close those two packages. I wouldn't have. I don't, because I already, it was, no, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. They want the treatment and, they need it, of course, and want it, but it wouldn't have happened. From the conversation that we had, once I laid it out and they were like, okay, this is this much. And I was like, yes, but this is only the down payment. And they're like, oh, okay. And I said, you could pay for it with, this amount or this amount or this amount, and they're like, oh. And I'm like, yeah. And then you can offer incentives, which Matt is telling me, like I can put in if you buy today, do it 10% off, or final if kind of thing. So there's little things that I could still tweak, which I'm tweaking every day. I'm going in and adding and evolving and changing the perk setup that I have.
So going forward, how do you see your use of perk in changing the way you approach business going forward? What's going to change?
So what's changed already and gonna change is that I'm able to really present just the whole treatment process, the consultation process, because that's really the core of most of our, the business. Yes, it's what you're offering and what your expertise is saying to the client. This is what I'm recommending. This is what you need. So for sure, I'm gonna, be using it. As I said, the paper is gone. That was like the ink and the color was killing me already, and the high quality paper. So them having everything on their phone, that's a plus. So we're building it out as we go. Like they're sitting right there with me and we're working together. It's a partnership. So I think that's really going to change the way that, I'm presented and the way they look at me and just, that trust, building that trust with them because they're like, okay, you're trusting me to say I'm going to be paying this, you
Yeah.
know. So I think that says a lot.
Um, I want you to give your honest feedback to somebody who's on the fence, wondering, is this worth it? Is this another sales pitch? First off, Jules, are we paying
No,
you? Are you getting any incentive to do
you
this?
should pay me, no, but no, you're not. No, 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 not
So,
a cent. No,
because so we don't charge anything for
no.
this service. It's free. And people get skeptical of like, what's the catch? Where's the, where am I going to get bit in the butt? Because they work with salesmen in this industry. I hear a lot of negative
Yeah.
things about laser reps, where laser reps are just a pain in the rear to deal with. What would you say as an outsider to somebody who was like you 3 months ago, 2 months ago, before you knew me or talked to any of us? What would you say to them? How would you persuade them in the honesty of your own experience
I would
to
say
help them see the
for
value?
them to get to just to give it a try, to really just learn, have meet with you, of course, so they can get a because they have this is like an overview of
Yeah.
it, right? They need to get the full information and really grasp what you're about. Because until I met with you, Celeste did tell me about it, but I have just just a broad overview, and I was trying to figure it out in my head. How is this going to work? I think they need to do that first thing to really meet and really get what the product is about, what the product offers, and what it's going to do for them and really just give it a try. I mean, it's just to give it because you're not. It's not costing you anything. you know, if you go in and you don't like it, I mean, it's nothing for you to say, okay, no, this doesn't work for me. But I would say give it a try. Like seriously, just make your mind up. Really give it you know, a go at it. Add the clients in, hear it out, and see what it can do for you because it can really change your life and the way you do your business. It's changed mine for sure.
Well,
Change
I
it.
love to hear this. What did you
Because I'm
guys?
still changing, because I'm still in the early stages. It's very, very early. I just used it last week. It hasn't been a week yet.
Yeah,
So I am excited to see how, you know, the month, the year, you know, months to come are gonna go, the weeks to come, and you know, and I'm definitely gonna be very clear, very transparent about this. But so far, it's blown my mind. It really is.
love it. Jules, you're a rock star. She's got the record for fastest execution. We've never seen any practice go from learning about it to executing and finding a return as fast as Jules. When you think about that, $24,000 return in 24 hours because she just chose not to get overwhelmed in
Yeah.
complexity. We are thrilled for you, Jules. You're an absolute rock star, and we cannot wait to see where you go from here.
Yes.
Best of luck to you, and
Thank
thank you for
you.
joining us on here.
Thank you. Thank you. You take care.
We'll be in touch.
All
Bye, everybody.
righty. Bye.